And the people, what up? Dan Morgan was a heat-seeking missile as a linebacker, and he's doing the exact same thing as a general manager. What's going on? You're watching Panthers Post. Well, it is now currently at the filming of this, day 2 of free agency, and this just in, the Carolina Panthers have released friggin' Miles Sanders. He was apparently unwilling to take a pay cut to stay with the Carolina Panthers. Shy Tuttle cut his salary in half to stay employed on Mint Street. Miles Sanders, he's on his way out. But we're going to talk a little bit more about what the Panthers can do moving forward in day 2 and onward, and maybe even the draft as well. But I'm going to be breaking down the moves made thus far. And thus far, the Carolina Panthers have been the busiest team in the NFC South. The worst defense in the National Football League. Got at least up from awful to average, according to Josh Norris from Underdog Fantasy and known Carolina Panthers sympathizer. The Panthers, in free agency, brought in 4 brand new players, all on the defensive side. So in the next couple episodes, I'm going to be breaking it down, not by positional value, not by player, but by positional groupings and how that group improves. So starting with this one, the defensive backfield and how it got better, how it got more aggressive, how it became more tone setting. And it starts with the tone when in terms of money, and that is the $100 million paid to J.C. Horn. $70 million guaranteed makes him the most well-paid defensive back, not corner, defensive back. So corners, safeties, free safeties, highest paid defensive back in NFL history. Ridiculous. So they started off day 1 of free agency with that, paying their own the 8th overall pick, which is funny because they have the 8th overall pick this year. They paid him that wad of cash to keep him in Carolina for the next 4 years. Who knew that your best ability is durability, and the fact that he played a majority of the season. He missed 2 games for whatever. The season was basically lost. He didn't really have any injuries, and he gets himself into the Pro Bowl and gets that max contract. This should have happened way earlier than this, of course. All the injuries that he did sustain, whether it's the broken foot, broken arm, those are all freak injuries. They're nothing to do with the fact that he is unfit or out of shape, whatever it is. I personally said in his rookie year when he broke his foot after that Thursday night game in Houston, his cleats were just too tight. But either way, he is here to stay. Now he's got a partner on the other side who is returning after being picked up for a 7th round pick with the Seattle Seahawks. That is Mike Jackson. He agreed to a free agent deal to stay with the Carolina Panthers. So he, for now, is cornerback 2 on the other side of the field. I still would not doubt the Carolina Panthers either drafting a cornerback or maybe bringing somebody else in for a little bit more competition. But at the same time, we still got Charles Smith-Wade, who I thought showed glimpses of promise in his rookie year as well. So I think just bringing J.C. Horn in and the message it sends, not just to him, to the league, but to guys on this team. They're going to pay their own guys, homegrown guys. Chuba Hubbard, who's a 5th-round pick out of Oklahoma State. Derek Brown, obviously, he got paid. They were not going to be paying Michael Williams more than Derek Brown, who is a leader on this team, a captain on this team. They paid both those homegrown guys. Now they're paying J.C. Horn. They're not letting him walk. We saw them let Christian McCaffrey go. They let Brian Burns go. They let Cam Newton go. Seek a trade. That's not happening in this situation. You come here, you develop. There's a young coaching staff, youngish team. You develop, you play well, you be available, you're going to get paid. So that is a good sign to other guys on this team, whether you're XL, whether you're Jalen Coker, who will be in for a big payday if he continues to produce, coming from an undrafted rookie. If he continues to produce on the big stage, he is going to get rewarded financially. So that's a good sign. Also, he's just a great player, Pro Bowl player. Mind you, doesn't travel with the best wide receiver on the opposing team, but as long as you have the quarterback that you're facing, just having to worry about, they have to just worry about half the field, and you just got to push them in that direction. That's where mistakes happen. That's where tip passes happen. That's where interceptions happen. And then you set Bryce Young with a shorter field, no pun intended. Also, new player heading into the building. Trayvon Moehrig signing a 3-year, $51 million deal, max $60 million. He got a little bit paid. He got paid a little bit more than Javon Holland, who just signed with the New York Giants overnight. But I talked about this in the last video. That's the numbers you have to start shelling out there if you're the Carolina Panthers and you won just 4 games or 5 games. I forget. Doesn't matter. Most of last year's season, don't really think about it. I'm not focused on the future. Be a river. Flow forward, my friend. But you got to pay that shitty team tax, unfortunately. But Trayvon Moehrig, not shitty at all. I didn't realize the man is 6'2", over 200 pounds. If you take a look at Las Vegas Raiders Reddit, take a look at their X accounts, just bemoaning the fact that they were dreading the day that Moehrig would actually be traded on that day or picked up on that day in free agency. They would not be able to retain him after spending his first 4 years as a pro in Vegas. They said that he is a tone setter, that he is a ball hawk, great in run defending. And if you just take a look at this film, I'm not an X's and O's guy, but you see that he is relentless, he is tenacious, he is energetic, he is powerful for a guy who's obviously, not built like a linebacker, but he is quite a big safety, 6'2", again, 210 pounds plus. I think that's what you need. And that's kind of the adjectives you get with a lot of these pickups. The adjectives I would use is energetic, obviously dog, uh, tenacity, athleticism, aggression, and then upside. We're going to talk a little bit about that in the trenches when it comes to those pickups. So I think the defensive backfield, obviously with addition of Trayvon Moehrig, him along with J.C. Horn, Mike Jackson, who again proved himself to be worth bringing back to Carolina, but also Damani Richardson. Speaking about undrafted rookies, along with Coker, Damani Richardson, a pleasant surprise, 6'1", 215. I thought he played really well in a team that the defense was struggling throughout the season. But you get two big safeties back there in Richardson, and you got Moehrig. You got tone setters out there. You're going to make wide receivers like a Mike Evans, like a Chris Godwin, who's going back to Tampa Bay, like a Drake London. Think twice about going up the middle, trying to break free, thinking they're just going to get an easy touchdown. That's not going to happen, I think, with this improved defensive backfield. I still think, after reading from guys like Mike Kay and Joe Purse and other smart analysts, content creators, reporters, that the Panthers are not done in the defensive backfield. They're still going to look to maybe double dip the way they did on the offensive line, the way they did on the defensive line this free agency period. Try to get maybe another safety out there at this moment. Again, Javon Holland was a favorite of mine. Again, he's going to the Big Apple, but they could maybe double dip and maybe get somebody else. So again, they're looking for tone setters. They're looking for energy. They're looking for aggression, run stoppers. All of the guys that they picked up, whether it is Moehrig or some of the guys on the defensive line, linebackers, it's all about stopping the run. You're in a division, in a league where the running back is back. It's cool to be a running back again. So once you stop the run, you force the quarterback play, which in this division, really, it's Michael Penix, Baker Mayfield. Well, we'll see how he does with the new offensive coordinator, and Derek Carr. You got to force them to try to beat you. And, I'm just saying, no disrespect to them, but you're not up against Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson twice a year. So if you limit them to just being one-dimensional, that is a good thing. So yes, let me know what you think about the free agency period thus far. Trayvon Moehrig, he is the new Carolina Panther out there. Mike Jack, he is staying. J.C. Horn, he's going to be here for a while. Let me know in the comments below. See you guys.